Hannah,
Yes.
I'm drinking today a peach oolong tea
Ooh.
from Just Iced Tea. And I looked at the bottle cap because they have little Snapple kind of sayings on it. And this one says, "The more things you do, the more you can do," by Lucille Ball.
I love Lucy.
I love Lucy. Did you know that she saved Star Trek?
Yes, I actually did know that.
They wanted to cancel it because the pilot was terrible and did horribly with test audiences. So she came in to save it because she owned the studio.
And she was like, "No, this is a good show. We need to produce this." And so didn't she fund it herself?
I believe so. She
Yeah, and
funded it
look
herself, and the only thing that they required was that they change some of the characters around.
yeah, and look what that happened. That's now a its own like nerd culture.
Hmm. And say what you will about what the man himself has become, but the show was much better under Shatner than it would have been under the original Captain Pike.
Oh, I don't know about that. I thought Shatner
Oh
was the original.
no, you got to watch the pilot episode with Captain Pike.
Okay, so I have not seen the pilot.
They did bring him back as an established character, of course.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen much of the first season.
Oh, you need to watch the original series. It is I like Mike Stacklasa from Red Letter Media's analysis, where he says that it's basically a horror movie with sci-fi elements. It's a horror series with sci-fi elements because every episode just has characters getting murdered in really horrible ways.
The one episode I have seen is The Trouble with Tribbles,
Mhm.
because that's kind of like a cult episode, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's the Mirror Mirror episode, the episode where they have to fight on the episode where they kill Greek gods. Um,
Oh,
and there's few other pretty iconic episodes. But the original series is pretty easy to get through. It only lasted 3 seasons.
yeah, I know, and they're not very long, so, like, we could
No,
sit down and watch it.
yeah, we should do that sometime.
Sure.
But for now, it's time for some Polaris.
It's mighty strange. You looking happily deranged. I can't settle in bed. Or have you picked your target yet? It's ended. Got your dog bite. It's ended.
And that is me coming in very late on the intro. You are listening to Online for Maintenance. It is Sunday, and this is theoretically the official podcast of MMOFallout.com. I'm Connor,
I'm Hannah.
and you are listening to episode number 17. Don't call it Daddy Day.
Yeah, don't do that.
It is the official Father's Day episode of Online for Maintenance that has absolutely nothing to do with Father's Day outside of the title.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and happy Daddy Day to all the daddies out there, too.
Ooh.
Now, Hannah,
Yes.
we do try to talk about video games on this show
From time to time.
from time to time. Um, so I think we should just get into it. What kind of
Yeah.
video games have you been playing this week?
So I continue my Bedrock Minecraft journey, building my house. I don't exactly know what I've done in the last week because I feel like I've gotten a lot done. Um, had a lot of downtime lately, so I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, and because it's easy to just like pick up and put down, pick up and put down. I've reworked half of a bridge that I've been building. So now it looks more like a log bridge rather than just it all made out of planks. And then I've more or less finished the basement floor of my house. There's a bunch of hanging lights and just stuff hanging down from the ceiling. None of it which you can walk into, which is really, really cool because it looks like you'll bump into a lot of stuff, but you don't. So I like that like illusion of it. I've got a little kitchen set up now, a little kitchenette set up in the basement. I mostly have my balcony on the downstairs or on the middle floor set up. Um, the middle floor is currently being worked on a little bit. It's like I'm treating it like a storage area. It's kind of like an attic where the floor has like kind of like disintegrated. So like there's like an open space you can see through down into the floor, but you can actually walk across most of it because it's like the way that I've done it. It's really, really neat. Um, and then there's a bunch of I have a couple barrels there, but I want to get more barrels, maybe a couple of chests set up to look like, storage area. I'm not really going to put anything in it. It's mostly just for show. But I was trying to think, I think there's a way to get a campfire, like to set up a redstone machine to turn a campfire on and off. And I want to put that into my house, but I don't have a whole lot of space to do that. And I want to see if I can get that worked in. Because it'd be really cool in my kitchenette, I have campfire underneath a smoker, so it looks like it's cooking food. But I'd like to be able to turn that on and off if I can. So, and I know I can do that. I have the redstone knowledge to do that. I've just kind of put that on if I can, I will. If I can't, then oh well. But I'm working on the second story of my house. I have a full staircase now up to the ground floor, which I think we're gonna have a ground floor and then one more floor above that, and then a roof. But I'm not exactly sure on the style of everything yet. Plus, the house is very oddly shaped. So I might have to like rework some stuff, move some stuff around in order to get it to be something that's a lot easier to work with. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to just kind of like wing a lot of stuff. And I haven't like it's been a lot of fun building this because it's been a very artistic build rather than a very functional build. So I'm happy in that regard. It looks amazing. I got to get some pictures or something. Maybe we can put that up during the podcast. I don't know. We'll see. Visual elements for the podcast at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk you into doing it, but we'll see.
Okay.
It's great though. I'm really, really happy with it. It's like the best Minecraft house I've ever worked on, and I'm really happy that it's like a different style to what I'm used to too, because I'm very used to like nice, like structured, basically I like to describe the things I make as right out of the box, like they're brand new. This does not look brand new, and I like that because it's different for me. It looks like it's very worn down. It looks like it's very old. So it's nice to be able to achieve those things.
Perfect.
So yeah, I'm gonna be working more on that. Minecraft is, it's Minecraft. It's a forever ongoing thing. I'll play Minecraft till I'm an old lady. Um, I have actually not been playing Sea of Thieves lately.
No.
No, I feel like it's kind of unlike me because I kind of just like to get it in the game and drive around and just not even do anything, just mess around in it. I just haven't been wanting to. Um, Mostly what I've been doing lately is working on my show.
Ooh. Tell
Yes.
me more.
So I used to do YouTube a long time ago. I looked very different back then. Uh, and now I have restarted my show News Cartridge, and in coordination with the Sentinels of the Store, the Steam group that you and I are part of. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing 2 episodes a week for I don't know how long. I did 2 episodes last week. We're gonna really restart in like late August, September. I'm not exactly sure. Still getting with people on that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was good. I covered Dragon Age Veilguard, why it did poorly. Because a lot of people like to blame the political reasons on why the game did poorly when
Yeah.
I don't believe that that's a reason at all. I think it was just like like the article covered. It was a lack of choice. Dragon Age was known for choice. Dragon Age was known for how you could take control of your characters and individually make them give them actions, have them do different things. This game, I believe, because I've never really played a Dragon Age game. I have Inquisition, but I never played it. Um, in this one, you can't really take control of the other characters, and they can't die.
That both of those things are true.
Yeah,
You can only take control of your companions in effect of you can direct them to use abilities.
which is like that's more acceptable to me than they can't die.
Yeah. They
What?
have no HP.
That's how. So you could just let them. You could just fall back and I guess just avoid attacks and let them do all the attacking for you.
Pretty much. Enemies from my time playing the game tend to prioritize the player over everything with their attacks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then I'm actually drawing a blank on what did I do the first episode? Oh, the Valve there was a game getting Borderlands 2 getting getting Steam review bombed because people were saying it has spyware in it. I had not heard of that. And it's apparently a thing going on right now that Borderlands 2 is getting a ton of flack for supposedly having spyware, which it does not contain.
Yeah, all the Borderlands games are getting flack over a new 2K terms of service that came out. And the company has since put out a statement about how it's not actually banning, like, they're not actually, it's not spyware. There were concerns over the verbiage in the TOS about banning mods. And they clarified that and said that they're not banning, it's not a blanket ban on mods. It's a ban on things like mods that give you DLC that you didn't pay for.
Yeah. Or
Or
mods that give you
mods that screw with the multiplayer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. If you get an advantage in multiplayer, then they'll ban you for that. But that's of course that makes sense to anyone. If you're stealing or if you're cheating,
Yeah.
then
That
you
was a
deserve
big thing in Payday 2. And
Well,
that's part of
yeah.
the reason why Payday 3 ended up being online only, is because people used mods and cheats to give themselves all the DLC in Payday 2.
Yeah, and I think you've told me about that before, and that's
I think Ratchet's talked about that in our
Oh,
voice chat.
Ratchet did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I know I've heard about that before, and it's up to the developer to safeguard these things.
Yeah.
So if the people are getting it for free, then like you need to have your back end tighter. Like make sure people can't do that. So it's a lot of other people seem to do it just fine.
It's a good moral life to live by.
Yeah,
Tighten your back end
exactly.
and tighten up those graphics on level 3.
Please. But yeah, so yeah, for anybody out there who thinks Borderlands is containing any sort of spyware, any sort of malicious um programming, no, it doesn't. That's ridiculous. The EULA changed back in February. No one noticed it until about May, early May. And then everybody's throwing a fit about it because the internet is the internet. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about a wonderful game you and I played.
Did we now?
Yes, we did. We played a game called Jumpship.
Oh,
So
yeah, Jumpship. That one was fun.
that was honestly fun. I really liked it. So I played it with you, and then I also played it with another friend. And um
Jumpship is a cooperative space game where you have your crew of up to 4 people going around and taking on missions to upgrade your ship. And I like that video games are moving more toward a cooperative rather than competitive.
Yeah, there is no PvP in this game at all that I'm aware of. And they don't intend on putting it in. I wouldn't be opposed to putting PvP in it because it feels kind of right for it, but at the same time, it's fun just PvE. It's fun just like going around looting stuff, going around picking stuff up, finding weapons and going from there. So the game is effectively to be frank, it's effectively Sea of Thieves mixed with Elite Dangerous. You are in a spaceship. You go. You basically accept a mission. Oh, mix in a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic too. You accept a mission. You get in your ship. You go out to the location. You achieve the objective. You pick up the stuff that's there. Um, you move on. You get to the end of the level. You claim your reward, and you buy upgrades for your ship. It was a lot of fun, and the other thing about it too is it looks gorgeous. It looks really nice. I like the graphics for it. It was like detailed enough, and it ran really well too. I've got a decent machine, but I was getting like 60 to 90 to 100 frames a second, and like I'd call that good. I know the game has. I've only played the demo for it, because it's what's out for Steam Next Fest right now. But it's a lot of fun. The demo lets you play it indefinitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's nice. I like demos that are like that because there's one demo that I played, the Nice Day for Fishing. You got to the end and it's just like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can play Jump Ship for indefinitely, well, until tomorrow, which
Okay.
is nice.
It is a fun game.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting it when it comes out. There is no release date yet, and there is no price information yet. But from what I've seen, um, the window is Q2, Q3 of this year. So hopefully by fall, hopefully by like September, we'll see it. And then saw $30 was what people were talking about.
Oh, $30 is a really good price for this.
Yeah, that'd be
I,
great.
I thought it was going to be in the realm of like 50 to 60 bucks. It feels like a premium, like a AAA game.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of content in it because if you saw the galaxy map, there were a lot of zones that you could unlock, and we were only in the first one.
Yeah. And there
My
was a
friend, my
shitload of stuff to do in that first zone.
Yeah, my friend told me too that he got to he unlocked a level 5 and it tells you the length of time the mission's going to be. We did level 1s, I think, and those are 20-minute missions. The level
Yeah.
5 ones are 1 hour long.
Oh, God. We ended
Yeah.
up doing a level 1, and the cargo mission was a level 2.
Yeah, that was a level 2, that's right. But it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. It was so good because I like that it's that Sea of Thieves kind of extraction gameplay where you get in, get your shit and get out before you get killed.
Yeah.
And it's less pressure because it's not people that are going to run you down for half an hour or even longer.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can figure out your own method of playing without having to worry about um people griefing, hacking, like just generally sweating. Um I like cooperative games more than I do PvP games, and a lot of that is just because the PvP landscape has become a complete shithole. Just every single game that comes out now is filled day one with people cheating, and even outside of the cheaters, just people like everyone focuses on min-maxing, meta builds, sweating. There's very few games that are not kind of that have PvP that don't seem to be filled with just the worst type of people.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And because I've come across, in Sea of Thieves, it's a really weird mix because you would think that in a pirate game, people wouldn't be as racist as they are. And it's nuts. Um, because like Sea of Thieves has the toxicity level community of like CS:GO and like Rainbow Six Siege for a fantasy pirate game,
Yeah.
for a game that's really directed at kids. Like, I can't believe it that there are such sweaty people. I don't mind, there are people who have been playing for forever and they're really good at it. And, I don't know if we call them sweats, but like, I don't really mind those people, but like the people that are like, I'm gonna run you down for like an hour, which that's happened to me. That's
Yeah.
not, how is that fun for them? Because then they can finally get me. Like, yeah, okay, cool. You didn't get anything out of this because like 30 minutes ago I dumped everything.
Yeah.
It's just for your own satisfaction, which it's like you're not playing the game at that point. You're just satisfying some other desire you have. You're working something out and you're using
Right.
the game to do it.
But yeah, I did the thing that impressed me most about the game is the giant area that you're in and how seamlessly it um how seamlessly it incorporates the ship itself, where the ship being a large moving object that very smoothly handles someone piloting it while like someone else is running around, grabbing stuff, moving it around. Um, I, as someone with a very rudimentary knowledge of game development, who has been gaming from an era where engines couldn't handle moving objects on top of other moving objects. I know how difficult something like that is to program into a game and not have it be like where the ship is moving and your character is like jittering all over.
Yeah, because you could see me walking around on the ship while you were piloting it.
Yeah.
Um, I've gotten to do
I
both. Or sorry, I'll
go
go.
ahead.
I've gotten to do both roles of piloting the ship and doing the like maintenance run around on the ship. And like while you were driving the ship, I'm running around on the outside and you could clearly see me. And that was one of the first things I noticed was that while I was driving, because I usually drive with me and my other friend, we I saw him just like running around on the outside of the ship and I'm like, I can see you. That's so cool. I can see you running around in real time. It looks really good. It feels really good. Plus like you can just throw the ship, like you can move the ship around all you want, and the thing is you have magnetic boots or whatever, so you don't get thrown off the ship. It's great. It doesn't just accidentally toss you off. You can go in and out of it without, at full speed without anybody worrying. Because sorry, that's part of the gameplay is that you have to like be fixing the ship while combat's going on, and part of that is going outside onto the ship itself and repairing the shield. It's a lot of fun. The maintenance thing is a lot of work, and I think
Yeah.
it'd be a lot more fun with at least one more person.
Yes.
We got to get SVD into it.
You definitely like the optimal is 3 people.
Yeah. Part of the ship is blocked off too. I'm not sure if that's because of the demo or if that's just the way the ship is designed in order to make it asymmetrical.
Maybe the demo.
It might be the demo because like there was a part of the ship like on the right side of it when you were to go out, there's like a room that has like a metal, like it's like a metal barrier that's like fallen down.
Right.
And you could see stuff behind it, but nothing you couldn't get in there and you couldn't interact with anything in there. So I'm not sure for what that room was, but it was really fun because like it had a lot of elements that I really like because you could like depower different parts of your ship if you wanted to. You could like take the engines off. You could depower the engines if you wanted to. And in fact, me and my other friend had like we took out the jump drive because we were like we don't need this while we're flying around, and we put in a railgun and we're using the railgun instead of. And so if we needed to like use the jump drive, we would just switch things out. I love that about like spaceship games and stuff. I love having complete control over my ship in that regard. A lot like how Elite Dangerous does.
Hmm.
Have you played Elite?
A very little bit back when it first came out.
Oh my goodness, I have played so much Elite. I played Elite. Did you play it before it was on Steam?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Good. Because that's when I played it too.
Like I
Um,
played it maybe like the month that it came out.
Same. Okay. Cool. You and I've been playing about as the same amount of time, but I've put a lot of time into it. I own 23 ships in that game.
I own one ship.
Yeah, I own a
Like I
Corvette.
said, I played it the month that it came out.
Yeah, you have a Sidewinder. It's cute. My Sidewinder has an American flag paint job. I've spent a lot of money on that game. But
Oh,
anyway,
God.
Jump Ship. Jump Ship. If you like Sea of Thieves, if you like Deep Rock Galactic, and you like Elite Dangerous, give this a try. It's or at least take a look at it. You won't be able to try it when this episode comes out, but like it was a lot of fun. It was honestly better than I expected. If it wasn't everything I expected, it was better than what I expected.
I really liked it.
That's good. I'm happy. I'm glad I get to recommend you games.
Hmm. And like I said, I like that it was very high intensity, but I like that it was co-op. Like if you were going up against players in that game, I don't think I would have had nearly as much fun.
Yeah, and the AI isn't. It's good because like me and a friend we tried the level 3 and it killed us. So
Yeah.
it's a decent enough AI that it's not just a cakewalk. Plus, also it does the thing where you have to lead shots.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I love that. I'm a sucker for that now because of if anything because of Sea of Thieves, because I've just gotten so used to that of moving while shooting and shooting at a moving target.
Mhm.
So like you kind of learn the like the angles, I don't know, the physics for that. I don't know what they call it. You know, you get an eye for it. So
Yeah.
I just started doing that naturally, and then my friend was like, "Yeah, there's a target." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Makes it easy.
Yep.
So what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing a couple of things. The first one that I want to talk about is I've been playing more Forza Motorsport.
Okay.
And I'm normally not a big racing fan. I kind of have to get I kind of want to get a good racing wheel. But I play this one with my Xbox controller on my Xbox, and it's sort of been a game of um not obligation. It's a game that I started playing and I started grinding up my vehicles because every car in the game can be leveled up to 50. And what they do with Forza Motorsport is they have the campaign mode, and then every month or two they have a tour that's only in the game for a certain amount of time, and it requires you to use specific cars on specific tracks. And it's really just a way of getting people to buy the cars, level them up. And at the end of every tour, you get a new car that the game just gives you. And each tour, it's like four or five races, and then there's a new tour that comes out every week, and then at the end of 5 of them, usually you get the car, and then they have a different themed tour that comes out after that. And over the last couple of months, they've been doing a Forza Forza tour, which is they've been doing they've been using cars from the Forza games. So like the first tour was one of the Forza Motorsport 1 cars. and then it just kind of went from there. It's a game that I have very much a love-hate relationship with. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that they're constantly fine-tuning the penalty system. You can play the game with minimal penalties, and you can play the game with full penalties. And as it should work, when the game is at full penalties, you get penalized for doing things like making illegal passes, like driving off the track to make an illegal pass. Collisions, the game has a very difficult time determining fault on. And
Gotcha.
I put out a short that has 2 gameplay clips from me and Forza Motorsport where I full on rear end a car in front of me, and the game is like, nah, you're good. Like nothing. Like I rear end the car in front of me and just knock it off of the track, and the game's like, no penalties.
It was his fault.
Yeah. Shouldn't have hit the brakes. And then I get like other times where I will sideswipe someone and the game will be like, that's force, like, or actually I've had times where I've a car has come up and hit me in a way that I couldn't do anything about it, and the game's like, it's 4 seconds on your time.
Wow.
So
Insult to injury.
the penalties are really bad in that game. They're either, I noticed, depending on the track, they're either ridiculously lenient or extremely overbearing, and the system never seems to understand properly the context behind collisions. Which I get, because I feel like it would be next to impossible to program a video game to try to correctly make those calls on what a person's intention is.
Yeah.
And I would rather it lean toward more lenient than more punishing.
Yeah, because it's a game. You want to have fun.
It's a game. I want to have fun. I have had a few races where I have gone back and I have I restarted the race and I ended up playing it with the penalties turned off just for that track, because the it was just so bad. I think I have like 30 vehicles in the game leveled up to max. It used to be that the game they've softened it due to player feedback. Because what it used to be is you had to level up your car in order to get access to upgrades for it, which meant that you were basically just driving the car at its worst until you grinded it up to like level 30. And people got angry at that, so they kept the leveling system, but they made it so cars have access to all of their upgrades just from the moment that you buy them.
Okay.
And I have about 300 hours in Forza Motorsport right now.
Wow.
I don't grind the vehicles. I just play them when there's a relevant tour available.
That makes sense. That way you don't have to play it too much.
Yeah. Otherwise it gets boring. Plus I'm usually playing it while I have YouTube videos on in the background. So I've been playing that. I've been playing, I do want to talk more about Splitgate 2. And
Let's playing more of that.
I have played more of that. I think either this week or next week is going to be my last week playing the game, because it is spiraling.
Really?
I kind of talked about this back when it came out, but it's already hit that point.
Really?
So when I say that the game is spiraling, what I mean is that it went from a 25,000 player peak on Steam to over the last few days, it's been at about 15,000,
Wow.
which is sharply dropping for a game that came out 9 days ago.
Because I
Now,
can see the chart there on your screen, and it's going down by like 10% each day.
yeah. Now, the problem with Splitgate is that Splitgate has I would say it has a higher skill ceiling. So when I say that the game is spiraling, what I mean is that there's a lot of sweaty people and cheaters in the game. And the more the population dwindles, the more that population of sweaty people becomes the predominant type that you're going to go up against, which means that casual players quit more, which means that those are the only players left and the population continues to die. I usually do the 6 matches a day for the daily quests. I have not won a single match in probably the last 3 or 4 days, just on the grounds that people, the moment that you start losing, someone on the team quits.
Gotcha.
And the population spiral, I played it earlier today, and I had a few games where I was waiting a few minutes for the matchmaking to go in at about noon on a Sunday, and
Ooh,
I was getting into matches and there were 2 bots on my team already.
yipes.
So the population is just dropping off hard. And the only people left are seemingly the ones who are just like the hardcore players who really want the game to stick around. Like that's the only thing that they play.
Yeah, so it's just not fun to play against them.
Yeah, it's not fun because like I can't play the game in a way that I want to enjoy it because everyone is like sliding and juking and like it sounds like a lot of them are playing in teams because it's just not fun.
They're too coordinated, which they
Yeah,
probably are. I mean, when I play Apex, I'm usually in a team.
right.
But like Apex has a big enough player base, a big enough variety that you won't run into that. Like you will toward the end of the match because yeah, the people who like win games are usually the sweats, but like there's a big enough player base that there's a big enough like the matchmaking system is also pretty decent enough.
Right. Now, I will say, while they do kind of ruin the game for me, I'm more tolerant of the sweats in a game like Fortnite because I have no expectation. Winning a battle royale game to me is like, wow.
Yeah.
So when I play Fortnite, I'm really just kind of playing to do the missions, and I'm playing to see how high I can get rather than playing to win. But with stuff like Splitgate, when you're, just constantly getting beaten down by players who are treating it like they're in a competition that has a cash prize, it's just not fun. It's like the people, it's like if you've ever if you remember from like school, or if you ever played sports with like a group of friends, like if you ever played a sport with a group of friends where like the group is big enough that you don't really know everyone, it's kind of like your group and then another group, or like back in school where you always had that one person who took it way too seriously,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
who was also really good at the sport. So like you play like high school, like you do baseball in high school gym or something, and you have that one person who's really good at baseball and they're just giving it their all. It's like, dude, you're playing. This is for fun,
Yeah.
and you don't even sound like you're having fun.
You're in the major leagues playing against Pee Wee.
Right. Like, I can't imagine that the people who are sweating in unranked Splitgate 2 are actually having much fun. But yeah, the game is just not only is the game not fun, but like when Fortnite gets to points where it's not fun for me, I still have things that I'm working toward. And Splitgate, the cosmetics are not that good. The battle pass is not that enticing, so I don't have that element to go with. And I think pretty much after this week, assuming I even last the week, like I have no intention on playing it anymore.
You got to contribute to it and leave yourself.
I load it up and I just end up getting frustrated.
Yeah, you're probably better off spending your time on something else then.
Right. But I have one more game that I played this week that
Ooh.
I did really like. It is the demo for a game called Total Chaos.
Ooh, okay.
Total Chaos is a horror game by Trigger Happy Interactive. They're the developers that made Turbo Overkill. And Total Chaos, it's a bit Lovecraftian. It is a survival adventure horror game. And it made me feel like an idiot.
Why is that?
Because the game very early on in the demo, so it's a game where you're constantly scavenging for supplies. It's very linear, but it's a game where you're constantly like you're constantly in need of things. And pretty early on in the game, you can go on an off path and get your hands on a pickaxe. And the game puts a lot of red herrings in the world in the form of breakable boxes. And I kept thinking like, breakable box. There must be something in there. And there isn't. There never is anything in the boxes. And I don't know if that's a demo thing. But what I also didn't realize because I wasn't paying attention to the whole screen is that your weapons have durability.
Oh no.
So I was using the pickaxe to smash boxes, and then my pickaxe broke before I even got to the first enemy in the game.
Oh. Oh, there
Um,
you go. Oh
but
no.
I really like the elements of the game. The enemies are not very difficult to beat, but it's very heavily focused on crafting. So like when I broke my pickaxe, my character actually kept the pickaxe head. So all I had to do was find a handle and some glue, and I was able to craft myself another pickaxe.
Okay, I like that.
I really like the way that the items work because pretty much everything has a buff and a debuff to it of some type. So you get stim packs that heal you.
Uh-huh.
But since you have to jab yourself with the stim pack, it causes minor bleeding
Uh-huh.
because it's just a big needle.
Yeah.
You can find cigarettes that damage your health, but they lower your hunger.
Okay.
And I like that idea of like incorporating real world stuff like that, like cigarettes reducing your appetite.
Yeah.
There is and like you can get you find like rotten meat or like rotten sandwiches and you can eat it and it causes some health damage, but it does improve your health, or it improves your hunger
Yeah.
at the cost of a little bit of your health. And yeah, it's a a very linear horror game. The enemies are not that hard to beat. The only thing that annoyed me with it is that they do what a lot of horror games do, and they put those enemies in they put those sequences in where you have to run from the enemy, and you have to like run down a maze of a corridor in a very specific pattern very quickly, or else you get killed.
Okay.
And I don't like that in horror games because it very quickly turns from like the first time you go through and you get killed, it's scary.
Yeah.
The second time onward, the slider goes progressively from frightening to tedious and frustrating. But it is a good looking game. It is. I like the controls were snappy. You can attack, you can parry. I liked it has good impact. I did find it slightly annoying as a first person game. The depth of field is sometimes very hard to tell when it comes to some of your melee weapons. Like
Okay.
I've had parts where it felt like I was carrying a metal pipe, and it felt like I shouldn't have been able to hit the people as far away as they were from me, but I was hitting them.
I see a little bit of that in the trailer too. It looks like they're a lot farther away than they are.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. I'm gonna try it I'm gonna play it when it comes out. It is a good looking game.
It looks nice. I like like all the detail, the tessellation in it.
Yeah. It is a very dismal and miserable looking game. But the demo was fun. The game itself comes out on July 24th. And hopefully they will hopefully there's not a lot of those the maze dodging sequences. Also, my other complaint is that the game has a hunger, a thirst, and a health meter. And I feel like a lot of developers don't know how food or the body works. Because like a lot of these games, your character's hungry constantly. And all that does is it decreases your maximum stamina, but it's like it annoys me when I'm playing a game where like I could eat 3 sandwiches in a row and my character's hungry 5 minutes later. I don't like hunger meters in games, and it's mostly because developers don't. In order to make it a relevant system, developers basically have to give your person superhuman metabolism. And that doesn't make for a good game mechanic.
Yeah, I think we need to get past the like hunger, thirst, health meter stuff. Because even Sterling has talked about this a little while ago about how it just becomes just maintaining bars rather than actually worrying about
Yeah.
the gameplay and the fun.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth to that.
But those are the games that I played this week.
Nice.
I do have 3 games that are coming out in the next week to talk about. The first one is a blast from the past, coming out June 16th, which is approximately 16 hours from now. It is the Gex trilogy.
I remember Gex.
Did you play that back in the day?
I didn't play much of it, but a friend of mine had it, so I played like a little bit here and there. It was when I was little, teenager, but still.
Right. I do love the Steam description for it. It says Gex Trilogy reproduces all 3 original games in exacting detail. precisely the way you remember them. Assuming you've gone senile and remember them having high definition native 16:9 widescreen visuals and full analog controls, which they didn't. No, this is the Gex series the way it was meant to be played. The man didn't think you were ready back then. He kept this version locked away. But the moment has finally arrived. Down with the man. Up with Gex. Gex Trilogy is Gex, the next generation version. The Gexed gen version. The Gexiest version of all.
Oh my god.
It has Gex. It has the three. I guess the three best-selling Gex games, which is Gex, Gex Enter the Gecko, and Gex 3 Deep Cover Gex.
Very Gexy.
Also, you get it's the 2D platformer, and then the two 3D versions. I like Gex. I feel like Gex is one of those games that people have fond memories of it, but it never had the same cultural impact of like Crash Bandicoot, Mario, Sonic. It was back in an era where PlayStation was really trying to find its mascot.
Yeah, I know I played a little bit of it, but I don't remember anything of it.
It was a game. The only thing that really sticks in my head is the emblems in Deep Cover Gecko, because they used very similar versions of those emblems in a new indie game called Frogun.
Uh-huh.
They're very reminiscent of the emblems from Gex 3. But you do get analog controls, you do get better resolution, widescreen support. There is a rewind feature, which I think every re-release of an old game should have. And yeah, you get 3 games for the price of 1. Fun times.
That one should be fun.
Mm-hmm. And the original Gex has CRT filters, because it was a 2D platformer originally released for the 3DO console. And again, that one comes out June 16th. Now, my second game is one that is very close to my heart, or from a franchise that is very close to my heart. It is FBC Firebreak. And this one, thankfully, is not just coming to Game Pass, but it's coming to PS Plus day one as a free title. And this kind of goes into what I was talking about before with cooperative games. FBC Firebreak is a 3-player cooperative first-person shooter. It is a spin-off of Control that takes place in the Alan Wake universe. You play as cleanup agents for the Federal Bureau of Control after the headquarters has been taken over by extraterrestrial sticky notes.
Really?
And it's yes. And it's your job. It's a little kind of Left 4 Dead-y, where like you go into areas, you have to defeat the sticky note monsters, you have to destroy the sticky notes that are taking over the bureau. And then there's like hordes of monsters, there's just thousands upon thousands of sticky notes everywhere.
I didn't realize that's what that was. Oh my god, somebody who was trapped in an office thought of this game.
Yes. I do love the Control and Alan Wake universe. I love how they can take silly concepts like this and still manage to make them very paranormal and very threatening. It is I guess you would call it a live service game. It's online co-op. but I can't say no to it because I loved Control. I love the Alan Wake games. I love the world that the games take place in, and just the fact that this is going to be on Game Pass and PS Plus day one. It's I'm guaranteed to play it when it comes out. But it does look like a lot of fun, and like I said, I've been playing a lot more cooperative games rather than competitive because I can't stand people in competitive games. But it does look fun. I think it looks great. And I'm of course hoping that there's more. It gradually adds more lore for the Control universe. And I have one more game that I do need to play the demo of. It is called Crime Simulator. It's coming out by it's another Playway published game. Crime Simulator is a 1 to 4 player co-op game where you commit crimes. You break into buildings, steal stuff, try not to get caught, and then get your money and get out of the area before time runs out.
That looks honestly fun. I would play this.
Yeah. You break in, split the loot. You can double cross other players, and then there's all kinds of tools that you can use to make the job easier. And then you can apparently backstab the other players.
That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Like, I would love to play that.
We should play the demo together.
Yeah, we should. After the
But
show.
that one comes out June 17th. And knowing Playway games, it'll probably be like 30, probably like $25-$30.
Okay. That's cool. I do have one game I did notice on my show that I would like to announce, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Coming out this week, June 17th, is Kitty Builder. So Kitty Builder is it's got like a classic like flat like cell shaded art style. It kind of mixes like 2D and 3D elements. But it's a platforming game where you actually build things in the world to assist you moving on through the level. So and it's very cutesy. I love cutesy games. So you're helping improve the world that you're in order to progress farther in it.
Okay.
Yeah, June 17th. I have no idea on pricing information on this one, but there is a demo out for the next fest as well for that one. It looks like a ton of fun. I love platformers.
Looks like a very cozy game.
Yeah. Wholesome Direct Award from 2022.
Ooh. Now, Hannah,
Yes.
I got some news I want to talk about.
Oh boy.
So, got three news stories today. The first one is Stellar Blade PC debut welcomes record number for a PlayStation published single player release. The concurrent player count is it's like 192,000 at its peak.
Damn.
Which proves one thing. People like boobs and butts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's I think it's hilarious when people when Stellar Blade came out and people were shitting on certain groups saying that they hated the game because the character was sexy. I was like, no, nobody has any problem with that.
I love sexy characters. Why not?
Exactly. So it's doing monumentally better than anything Sony has put out on PC or the PlayStation games that have come to PC. because the most popular game before that was Spider-Man Remastered, which peaked out at 66,000 players, and Stellar Blade peaked out at 192,000 people.
So significant increase.
Yes. I played the demo for it. I wasn't a huge fan, but it's only because I'm not a big fan of the Souls-like games.
Fair.
But it is a solid title. And it's doing far better. And also people are modding it.
Oh boy.
People are modding it, and
I can only imagine.
funny enough, one of the more popular mods makes Eve a little chunkier.
I am not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I believe it's oh yeah, and they have a lot of outfit mods.
Oh yeah.
A
Removal
lot
of
of outfit mods, a lot of things to get unlocks faster, or just like get all the unlocks from the start. And then someone added in a hardcore mode. I do like the name of one of the mods because it shortens the jacket on one of the outfits, and the mod is called Cake Unveiled.
Ah, yes.
I do like that. That's clever.
I do like cakes too. Yes.
Everyone loves cake.
Guilty.
So yeah, Stellar Blade doing very well on PC, as I assume most people thought that it would. Like, I don't think it's really shocking that Stellar Blade is doing well on PC.
Oh, sex sells. I've never heard of this before. This is an
Neither
entirely
have
new
I.
concept.
Seems to be a new concept.
Yeah. I'll have to write this down and remember it for later.
Also, weirdly, someone modded the game to put one of the male characters in the Leon Kennedy Resident Evil 2 remake outfit.
I could see that, yeah.
I can see it. It just seems to be
That's dedication, babe.
oh, that's
What? Tell the people.
I found a mod on Nexus Mods. It replaces the mod name is called Eve Feet Hand. The mod replaces her hands with feet. Bare feet, naturally. But I gotta show you the picture, because
Please,
like
I have to.
they're structured like hands. So there's a photo of Eve doing the peace sign with her feet hands, and it looks wrong.
Please, you get my reaction. Here we are. Let's do this. I want to see.
Oh, oops! I sent that to the wrong person.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
That's going to be an awkward.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It's not with the fingers I thought she'd be using. Oh no! It's not with the toes. Because that makes that. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Why would I? This is the thing of nightmares. This is.
I gotta wonder, even if you're a foot person, who dreams of like hands being replaced with feet?
But why wouldn't you just use the big toe and the index toe to do that instead? Then it wouldn't look as weird as it does.
It looks so scary.
I'm horrified. Both of the pictures are just weird. Plus the fact that the game even allows this, because that means that the assets for the hands must be separate from the assets for the feet.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then they were able to just mix and match them. But they're also rigged up the same, more or less the same way. Or they rigged them the same way, because I know like you have to rig a model.
Yeah, that's frightening.
Wow.
I did not think that that's where this conversation was going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I might not have included that news piece today.
Of all the things I thought I would learn today, I can't unlearn this.
Now it's time for a palate cleanser.
Please.
I'm going to go on to my next news story, which is Fortnite is celebrating Father's Day with 3 iconic dads in the item shop. They have added in Cleveland from Family Guy, Hank Hill from King of the Hill, and Bob from Bob's Burgers. And they went out of their way to get Hank's non-existent ass anatomically correct for the video game.
He doesn't have a butt.
He does not have a butt.
Gluteal deficiency syndrome.
Yep.
I remember this very well.
He also has, I wonder if they also kept his very narrow urethra.
I don't know how that would play a role.
I don't know. They are expensive. The Hank Hill bundle is 3,500 V-Bucks. The Bob one is 3,200 V-Bucks, and the Cleveland is 2,900 V-Bucks.
What's that in real change?
Roughly 25 to 30 bucks each, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so we're paying licensing fees on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume a lot of that is going to licensing fees.
Well, and this makes sense. I don't know how the Cleveland. I mean, I guess like I don't know how the Cleveland one is there, but I mean, the King of the Hill revival, Bob's Burgers is still a very, very like popular show. So like those two I get, but the Cleveland one I don't really get very much. Other than
the Cleveland one, I assume is because they wanted to do the 3 of the shows, and also Peter Griffin has already in Fortnite, so they can't resell the model because it was already a battle pass.
yeah, wasn't Homer Simpson already in too?
No, there are. We talked about this last week. There are rumors that, or there were leaks that there's a Simpson season coming up.
Okay, so yeah, then so obviously Homer wouldn't be included, but then they could have done like Stan Smith from American Dad too,
I guess,
because he's technically a dad. He's not a great one.
he is literally an American Dad.
Yes, he is. The 3 they got though really good dads though.
I have killed several people over the weekend dressed as Hank Hill. And then I play Fortnite.
Give them some real propane.
Exactly. And then I have one more news piece, which is there's a DLC coming out for Still Wakes the Deep. And it takes place after the events of the first game. If you haven't played Still Wakes the Deep, I kind of recommend it. I have a video on YouTube. It is very much a Chinese room walking simulator. I thought it was okay. I played it as part of Game Pass. I wouldn't recommend playing it. I wouldn't recommend spending over like $10 to $12 on it. Because it's not a very long game. It doesn't have any replayability. And it's a game where you're on an oil rig where they drill up the drill basically cracks open a Cthulhu-esque monster that takes over the rig and turns most of the crew into monsters, and you're trying to survive. The DLC takes place a decade after the events of the game, where Still Wakes the Deep was in the 70s. This game is going to be in the 80s, where you're part of the cleanup crew who gets sent out to the rig to figure out what the hell happened. And presumably that just means, more monsters, more spooky stuff. I mean, I'm interested in it. It's gonna cost $13, the DLC, so I might pick that up when it comes out. But that's my raving review for Still Awakes the Deep. It's okay.
Don't be so enthusiastic about it.
I thought it was fine. It did, because it's another one of those games. Maybe not 100% toward in that genre, but it's like the horror genre where you're the character, like you're a character escaping their past.
Mm-hmm.
And from the moment that your character mentions, like, I'm a parent escaping my past, and I think about my child a lot. I was like, okay, did your kid die or did you murder them? My only complaint with Still Wakes the Deep is that the ending doesn't really have much of it doesn't really tie things up. It's even by those metrics, it's not very satisfying. But I do have a video up on it on my YouTube channel. I did a video review.
Everyone should go check that out.
Everyone should. I have just as much enthusiasm when I'm reviewing it as I have right now when I'm talking about my review. So yeah. Hannah.
Yes.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me over at, now, youtube.com/news cartridge. I've uploaded 2 episodes there. You can find me over there. You can find me on the Sentinels of the Store Discord, where I'm doing various sorts of things like playing Minecraft and browsing Reddit sometimes. Less of that lately. But yeah, just generally just trying to have a good time.
I'm realizing again that I'm very bad at self-promotion. I never mentioned the Patreon at the beginning of the episode.
Where can we find you?
You can find me at mmofallout.com. If you're listening to this right now, 99% of you are coming in from the YouTube channel, so you know where that is. And you can check out the Patreon at patreon.com/mmofallout. And for as little as $1 a month, help support whatever the hell it is that we're doing.
It's fun, whatever this is.
Whatever this is. But and we also I usually put out the episodes on Monday for Patreon members, and then on Wednesday or Thursday for the public, depending on how sleepy I am by the time Wednesday comes around. And in a logical world, I would render everything and have it scheduled on Monday when I do the Patreon version, but that's not how my brain works. I didn't get last week's episode up until Thursday evening.
Yeah, I just saw that, but that's okay. It happened.
But until then, we will be playing more video games. So we have more video games to talk about next week. And on that note, I will say, hit the music, and good night, everyone.
Mwah. Love you.
It's a good thing this podcast is audio only.